Brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because last night, for the first time in my entire life, I went to a country music concert. Before I talk about that, though, I have a low and high act of kindness. Although it's going to be pretty obvious that the high is going to involve the concert, but bear with me. I would say my low is that this weekend kind of ended a little bit too quickly for my liking. I mean, I had fun entertaining my brother's friends. That was a lot of fun. And, I just had too much fun this weekend. And now I'm sad the weekend's over. That's my low. That's pretty much what I'm feeling at the moment. And, I mean, I literally just said my high was the concert I went to. And it was amazing. And my act of kindness was I helped clean up after we were all about to leave and go home to the rest of our lives for reference. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Basically, I helped clean up before we went home. That's what I did. So, good morning. Happy Monday. I went to my very first country music concert ever. Here's how it went. So, full disclosure, I was really more killing two birds with one stone. That was my initial plan. Because this concert took place at the WaterFront restaurant. It's a restaurant in Keuks Lake. I think it's one of Keuks Lake's very best. It's definitely the place to get the best seafood. And I knew I was going to go back. And, there were some people who I thought I was going to see, at this concert. So, I had myself a good meal and enjoyed some really good music. But here's the thing. The food part, that definitely happened. I wasn't expecting the music to be that good. Holy cow. So full disclosure, should I talk about the food first or should I talk about the music? Well, food and music. Like the two things that are guaranteed to bring people together. You know what I mean? So, well, I guess food does come before music in alphabetical order. So let's talk about the food first. Well, here's the thing. The event is called Clammin Jammin. They were doing, they had a very special menu there was like the actual full menu if you ate inside the restaurant, but I didn't want to eat inside I want to listen to some music. I want to have some fun. So naturally, I had the Clammin Jammin menu. And there was a lot of great stuff on the menu too. There was like a Mexican corn dip. There was a peel and eat shrimp, deep fried Alaskan pollock bites, wings. You could have gotten flatbread pizza if you wanted to. And it all looked really good. But there were three things that stood out to me on the menu that I really wanted to try most of all. There was like an andouille sausage you can get with like sausage, peppers, and onions and stuff. That was really good. You get like corn on the cob and salt potatoes. Probably go well with the steamers. Which reminds me, I got myself the clams. I'll talk about them in a minute. But there were three things on the menu that caught my eye, and I just gave one away, which was the steamers, which is basically a fancy way of saying steamed clams. The pico guac dip, which is basically pico de gallo and guacamole mixed together. And, trying to see if I can remember the name. The fried Red Hook ale shrimp with french fries. Which is basically a fancy way of saying beer battered shrimp with fries. Red Hook ale is like beer battered. There you go. And first I had the guac. Because, I kind of wanted to go work my way from, cold to hot. That's just my thing. Now, as someone who prides himself on making really good guacamole, naturally I had to give this a try. And it was very good. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's both difficult to mess up guacamole, yet it's not hard to mess up guacamole. As long as you know what you're doing, it's going to be fine. And WaterFront's was exceptional. WaterFront, yeah, very good guacamole. And I love how it came in a rainbow, like yellow tortilla chips, or maybe it's white tortilla. Like traditional looking tortilla chips, let's say. There's red tortilla chips, blue tortilla chips. And the presentation was great too. They had one chip sticking out from the guac, so that was supposed to be like the first chip you were supposed to eat. It was all amazing. It was really good. And I mean, if there was one flaw with it, to me, it's they gave you a few too many chips for not quite enough guac for my taste. I mean, personally, I'd rather have more of what you're dipping into than too much of the dipping vessel, just simply because it gives you an excuse to get more out of what you dip, get more every time you dip your chip, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's a nitpick. The guacamole was amazing. And again, it's called Clammin Jammin. I had to get the clams. Funny story. Before I continue, I actually posted that I went to Clammin Jammin last night, and a friend of mine has been like egging me on to get clams for months now. So after I made that post, he's like, he finally got the clams. Then I posted right back, I finally got the clams. So I finally got the clams. And actually, for many years, we'd always have steamed clams at my cottage at Keuks Lake. You know, a whole mess of clams. And sadly, this is before I was a really picky eater. So, you know, I didn't really like clams that much. It's a real shame too, because of course when I start liking clams, it's when my brother started to develop a bit of an allergy. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how it's seafood. Like, it started off with shrimp, and then it worked its way to like other forms of seafood as well. I'm not entirely sure if it's that serious now, but needless to say, we haven't had steamed clams in forever. Which is a real shame because, again, I like clams now, and the clams at the WaterFront were very good. I mean, I just said WaterFront is amazing seafood, so why would I not get the clams? They were great. You know, like really good butter with it, and it was great. You know, and they give you and when they give you the clams, they come in like you know, whenever you get like clams from the supermarket, it's always in like that sort of like netted bag. It's like a really thin looking net that's really easy like to tear apart or whatever. Like, they actually steam the clams in that kind of netting. So when they give you your dozen clams, like, it's still in the net, and all you gotta do is like peel it open and then get out your clams. I mean, it's not an entirely new concept. I mean, supermarkets have that way all the time. I mean, you really could just like buy your clams in whatever like netted bag that they're in, just put them in boiling water and wait. And it totally works. And the clams were exceptional. You know, it had been a good couple of years since I had any kind of clams that wasn't clam chowder, so, you know, I'm glad I had them. They were great. And speaking of seafood, there was the fried red hook ale shrimp, which, again, fancy way of saying they were essentially beer battered shrimp. And I personally have never had red hook ale, and it's not like you could actually taste the actual beer when eating. See, full disclosure, whenever you beer batter something, obviously you get rid of the alcohol, but the flavor of beer is kind of muted. It works that way, like literally everything you beer batter, it really does work that way. You get like a whiff of beer, but you don't really get like the flavor of it, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much what happened with these shrimp. You know, I got like a whiff of the beer, but like the actual flavor, you know, is again kind of muted. But that's not to say that these shrimp are bad at all, but they were great. They were perfectly cooked shrimp. You know, it was nice crispy beer batter. They were awesome, and came with fries too. And actually, the fried red hook ale shrimp came with tartar sauce. I was expecting a good cocktail, but no, it was tartar sauce. It was really good tartar sauce. Loved it. I mean, I've been saying for years that WaterFront is like the best seafood on Keuks Lake. And of course that's true, but I didn't expect the music I was listening to be great either. So, the artist that was on, that was playing was a really good country music artist named Claudia Hoiser, who's pretty well known locally, but like she's been on the radio, she's done like big shows, you know. So needless to say, Claudia Hoiser's legit. And this was my very first country music concert ever. So, you know, why not have it be a place as great as the WaterFront for Clammin Jammin of all things? And like, you know, her music was fun. Everyone was singing along to her stuff. She was very engaging with her audience, which is awesome. I mean, that's what a great artist will do. And even for like a first time country music concert goer like me, like she still knew songs that like, you know, I could sing along to. I mean, don't get me wrong, she had her own original material, and it's great. Love it. You know, I have nothing bad to say about it. But when you're doing stuff like Watermelon Sugar or I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett, or, you know, Drift Away, like, I can sing along to those songs. I can have a good time listening to that stuff. Why not? So, yeah. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Claudia Hoiser is really pretty. She is, man. I don't know what to tell you. And it was really funny, too, because I happened to run into this one guy who I know there. And I actually ran into several people that I knew. And some people I met for the very first time, either. In fact, there was one guy who I just found out that, like, technically I'm related to this one guy. Because his brother married my cousin. It's crazy. Anyway, where was I? Right, I was talking about the concert, the actual music. The music was great. Right, I was talking about what the one guy I knew said. Like, this is the thing. The outfit I was wearing was like a nice blue shirt, kind of like more of a brighter blue than the one I'm wearing right now, with you know, some matching you know, khaki shorts, and the same color shirt I was wearing was the same color shirt that Claudia was wearing. And the guy I know walks up and he says, "Did you two plan on matching?" I'm like, "No." I mean, Miss Hoiser, if you are single, you know, I don't mean maybe. I don't know. I was being silly. But this, like, real talk, this was a lot of fun. This was an incredible experience. Of course, you know, if Claudia Hoiser's playing at WaterFront, like, seriously, that was the first time she played at WaterFront. Like, she made her debut at the WaterFront. And again, I just mentioned how she was engaging with her audience. She's like, at the beautiful waterfront, like, she was engaging with everyone. She was great. And that's what a good artist will do. She's saying, like, how y'all doing, Keuks Lake? And stuff like that. It was awesome. Like, this is the sort of thing that, like, you look for when you're going to a country music concert. And again, real talk, this was a lot of fun. You know, of course, if Claudia Hoiser's playing again, I'll get to that in a second, especially like the WaterFront, yeah, I'm going back. If there's any other like country music concerts I should go to, let me know. I wouldn't mind going. Although, speaking of Claudia Hoiser playing again, no kidding, country music superstar Trace Adkins is actually going to be performing at the Hammondsport, specifically at the Point of Bluff Vineyards, which I can actually see from where my cottage is. I've never been there personally, but I know where it is, because I can see it where I am. Claudia Hoiser is actually going to open up for him. Here's the thing. I really have been going back and forth as to whether or not I want to go to that concert. Because, before yesterday, I was really torn about whether or not I want to go to this concert. Because here's the thing. Thankfully, the Trace Atkins concert is supposed to start like 5 or something. Or maybe 5:30 or maybe 6. Somewhere in the early to mid-evening. And it gets out like 11. Meaning, like, let's say you stay for the entire concert but you haven't eaten dinner yet. You're going to be hard-pressed to find anywhere to find a bite to eat. Unless you left the concert early. Which you could do. I mean, listen, it's country music superstar Trace Atkins. There's going to be a lot of people there. It won't necessarily be a bad thing if you left early. Unless, again, you are like a diehard fan of country music in general. Which, I'm not going to say I'm a diehard fan, but I like country music. I like country music fine. It's fun. You can engage a lot. You can listen to it and have a good time. I like country music. But again, this last night was the very first concert I ever went to, so, I don't really know all the, I don't know all the faux pas that you could potentially do, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Because of the fact, like, the concert is as late as it is getting out, like, it really could be, like, seriously, I could have, like, lunch that Friday, and that would be, like, the last thing I eat until, like, the next morning, probably. So, again, not entirely sure if that's what I want to do. But after hearing Claudia Hoiser sing, I am very strongly reconsidering. Again, I think it's also going to come down to, like, how much tickets are. Because, listen, the concert itself is on September 1st, so less than a month. I would not be surprised if, like, I wouldn't really be able to get a good seat. Maybe. I mean, if I get, like, a seat that's, like, what, $16? Okay, I guess. We'll have to see. We will have to see indeed. How, I mean, if I went with a date, let's say for, like, somehow by the grace of God, a girl asks me out to go to this concert, obviously I'm going to say yes. I don't know. Again, I got at least some time to think it over a little bit, and no better time to start from now. I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I am very humble in this video for all you guys watching the show today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday. And remember, if you're going to talk to me, let me know back. Take care. Make good choices. Go to the WaterFront for great seafood. Go listen to Claudia Hoiser's music. 607 all day, baby.